Welcome to Passion Travel. Explore world street food, captivating vlogs, and inspiring journeys with us. Subscribe to experience adventure in every video. Tarte Flambee, Alsatian thin crust pizza topped with fromage blanc, onions, and bacon. Tarte Flambee along with the ingredients and preparation. Ingredients: 1 pre-made pizza dough or thin crust dough. 200 g fromage blanc or crème fraîche. 1 large onion, thinly sliced. 100 g bacon or pancetta, thinly sliced. Salt and pepper to taste. Olive oil for drizzling, optional. Chopped fresh parsley for garnish, optional. Instructions: preheat your oven to the highest setting, usually around 475 degrees Fahrenheit, 245 degrees Celsius. If you have a pizza stone, place it in the oven to preheat as well. Roll out the pizza dough thinly on a lightly floured surface. You want it to be quite thin, as Tarte Flambee traditionally has a thin crust. Transfer the rolled out dough to a parchment-lined baking sheet or a pizza peel if using a pizza stone. In a bowl, mix the fromage blanc or crème fraîche with a pinch of salt and pepper until smooth. Spread this mixture evenly over the rolled out dough, leaving a small border around the edges. Scatter the thinly sliced onions and bacon evenly over the top of the fromage blanc mixture. If desired, drizzle a little olive oil over the top for added flavor. Carefully transfer the Tarte Flambee to the preheated oven. If using a pizza stone, slide it onto the stone using the pizza peel. Bake for about 10 to 12 minutes, or until the edges of the crust are golden brown and crispy, and the toppings are cooked and slightly caramelized. Once done, remove the Tarte Flambee from the oven and let it cool for a few minutes. Garnish with chopped fresh parsley if desired, then slice and serve hot. Pissaladière, pizza-like dish with caramelized onions, anchovies, and olives. Pissaladière is a traditional French dish originating from the region of Provence. It's a type of savory tart or pizza topped with caramelized onions, anchovies, olives, and sometimes herbs like thyme or rosemary. Here's a recipe along with the ingredients and preparation. Ingredients: 1 sheet of puff pastry or pizza dough. 4 large onions, thinly sliced. 2 tablespoons olive oil. 2 to 3 cloves garlic, minced. 1 teaspoon dried thyme or rosemary. Salt and pepper to taste. 8 to 10 anchovy fillets, drained. Handful of black olives, pitted. Optional: fresh thyme or rosemary for garnish. Instructions: preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. If using puff pastry, let it thaw according to package instructions. In a large skillet, heat the olive oil over medium heat. Add the sliced onions and cook, stirring occasionally until they are soft and caramelized, about 20 to 30 minutes. Add the minced garlic and dried herbs during the last few minutes of cooking. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Remove from heat and let cool slightly. Roll out the puff pastry or pizza dough on a lightly floured surface to fit a baking sheet. Transfer the rolled out dough to the baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Spread the caramelized onions evenly over the dough, leaving a small border around the edges. Arrange the anchovy fillets in a crisscross pattern on top of the onions. Place black olives in between the anchovies. Optional: garnish with fresh thyme or rosemary leaves. Bake in the preheated oven for 20 to 25 minutes, or until the crust is golden brown and the toppings are bubbly and slightly caramelized. Remove from the oven and let cool for a few minutes before slicing and serving. Saucisson Sec, dry-cured sausage often served as a snack.
رحلة مع الأصدقاء إلى أوزود تعد تجربة فريدة من نوعها، تمزج بين جمال الطبيعة الساحرة وسحر المدينة التاريخية، مما يخلق مزيجاً مثالياً من المغامرة والاسترخاء والاستكشاف.
Saucisson Sec is made and enjoyed. Ingredients: pork meat, usually from the shoulder or belly. Salt. Nitrites, optional, for curing. Black pepper. Garlic. White wine, optional. Preparation: The first step in making Saucisson Sec is to grind the pork meat. The meat is usually ground coarsely to give the sausage its characteristic texture. Once the meat is ground, it's mixed with salt, nitrites, if using, black pepper, garlic, and any other desired seasonings. Some recipes also call for a splash of white wine, which adds flavor and helps with the curing process. The seasoned meat mixture is then stuffed into natural or synthetic casings, typically made from animal intestines or collagen. After stuffing, the sausages are left to air dry and cure for several weeks to several months, depending on the desired level of dryness and flavor development. During this time, the sausages may be hung in a cool, dry place with good air circulation. Once the sausages have dried and cured sufficiently, they are ready to eat. Saucisson Sec can be sliced thinly and enjoyed as a snack or appetizer, often paired with crusty bread, cheese, and wine. It's also a common ingredient in charcuterie boards and picnic spreads. Fruits de mer, fresh seafood like oysters, shrimp, and crab. Fruits de mer translates to fruits of the sea in English. It refers to a variety of fresh seafood dishes typically found in coastal regions, including France. Here's an overview of fruits de mer. Ingredients: oysters, mussels, shrimp, crab, lobster, clams, other shellfish and seafood varieties. Preparation: fruits de mer dishes often feature a combination of raw and cooked seafood, served on a bed of ice or arranged aesthetically on a platter. Oysters may be shucked and served raw, accompanied by lemon wedges and a mignonette sauce made of vinegar, shallots, and cracked black pepper. Mussels are often cooked in a variety of ways, such as steamed with white wine, garlic, and parsley, or prepared in a tomato-based broth. Shrimp can be served boiled or grilled, seasoned with herbs, garlic, and lemon. Crab and lobster may be served whole or as meat extracted from the shells, often accompanied by drawn butter or aioli for dipping. Clams can be steamed, baked, or grilled and served with garlic butter or a simple herb sauce. Other shellfish like scallops, langoustines, and periwinkles may also be included in fruits de mer platters, depending on availability and regional preferences. Crème Brûlée, creamy custard topped with caramelized sugar. Crème Brûlée is a classic French dessert that translates to burnt cream in English. It's a rich and creamy custard topped with a layer of caramelized sugar. Here's how it's typically made. Ingredients: 2 cups heavy cream, 4 large egg yolks, 1/3 cup granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Extra granulated sugar for caramelizing. Instructions: preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit 150 degrees Celsius. Place 6 ramekins or custard cups in a baking dish and set aside. In a saucepan, heat the heavy cream over medium heat until it just begins to simmer. Remove from heat and stir in the vanilla extract. Set aside. In a separate bowl, whisk together the egg yolks and sugar until well combined and slightly thickened. Slowly pour the warm cream mixture into the egg yolk mixture, whisking constantly to combine. Be careful not to scramble the eggs. Strain the custard mixture through a fine mesh sieve into a clean bowl to remove any lumps. Divide the custard evenly among the prepared ramekins. Place the baking dish with the ramekins on the oven rack, then carefully pour hot water into the baking dish until it reaches halfway up the sides of the ramekins. This is called a water bath or bain-marie. Bake the custards in the preheated oven for 30 to 35 minutes, or until the edges are set but the centers still jiggle slightly when shaken. Remove the custards from the oven and let them cool to room temperature. Once cooled, cover them with plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 2 hours or overnight to chill and set. Just before serving, sprinkle a thin, even layer of granulated sugar over the surface of each custard. Use a kitchen torch to carefully caramelize the sugar until it forms a golden brown crust. Alternatively, you can place the custards under a broiler for a few minutes until the sugar caramelizes. Allow the caramelized sugar to cool and harden for a minute or two before serving. Enjoy the creamy custard with its crisp caramelized topping,